Hello, my people. There is a trend I noticed many years ago. I first of all noticed it in church, then secondly in business, and I've seen it playing out in politics now. I'll first of all give you a rundown so you can understand what I'm saying. When God created man, man was perfect. There was nothing found or wanting in man, and God was happy that He created man. That perfect man that God created, disappointed God. So what did God do? God came down, in form of man. He became man, you know, and walked with man's imperfection, to redeem man back to the original state. So it's not a case of using perfection, to achieve, a perfect result. What God initially wanted to do was just to use, perfection, perfect result. So the perfection, became imperfect. That God had to use that imperfect man. We changed the model, to achieve perfect result. That same model, I saw it happening in church. I noticed that in church, in those days when I was growing up, as a believer, as a young believer, I noticed that people who are very good, who are anointed, people who are spiritual, people who knows the scriptures, when you bring them into the church or when they're in church, you always have this rebellious attitude, and because of that, most authorities in churches, started looking for people who not so anointed, but are loyal and have a willing heart. So they started training them, and using them, to achieve the kind of result that they desire to achieve. I also noticed this trend in business. When I started my business, I wanted to work with professionals, people who are well trained, people who are very good at what they do, good stylists, good barbers, who were very professional that I didn't need to train. So I started working with them. They gave me help. They made my business difficult. They were very rebellious, they were not, they they don't follow, basic rules and regulations. They always have a chip on their shoulder. So I resorted to getting cleaners, dropouts, security guards, I started training them. And I found that these people, they are more loyal. They stay longer, and they are always willing to work. They obey basic rules and regulations. It worked for me. See, that model, as long as this earth exists, that model will be there. I also saw it playing out in the recent politics election, in the recent election that happened in Edo State. People were expecting somebody who is very literate, somebody who is very intelligent, somebody who has experience, somebody who knows this business, the in and out, because he has been in the previous government and all that. So he has traveled wide and near, somebody that people believe that could deliver on the job, and people were very expectant. What happened? The result tells you. Pick somebody who is not loyal, though not very intelligent, but somebody who will play, according to that will listen to the people, who seems to have a grip on that state. That's exactly what play out. Is power play. Until people realize this, until people get to know this, that is power play. There is this battle between the God and the devil and the human spirit on this earth. Most of the time, situations and circumstances that we find ourselves, you will find out that it's just a power play between the devil or the devils or devil's agents and the human spirit. Because most people nowadays, they are more concerned about their stomach infrastructure. They are more concerned about what goes into their belly. As if people don't have conscience anymore. As if people don't have empathy anymore. As if people don't reason anymore. So people fight for the immediate gain. People are not looking at the future. They're not looking at tomorrow. They're not considering prosperity. But what they consider is how they can take undue advantage of whatever situation or circumstances that the people are presently in. Now, my advice to you, if you want to live a quality life, if you want to do business, a successful business, if you want to, be able to relate, have mutual beneficial relationship with people, you need to understand this model. This is not time to be rigid. This is also time to be flexible, more especially when you don't want to seek the power of God, when you are not acknowledging God in whatever situation or circumstance you find yourself. Don't follow those people that are telling you that politics is not a dirty game. That's one of the greatest lies that the devil is selling now to especially Christians. The devil wants to get you in his battleground. He wants to get you to his comfort zone. He wants you to come and fight with him using his tools, his methods. I don't know who is giving people the impression that you can actually elect a credible leader through the ballot, especially in Nigeria. You're dreaming. The only way you can do that is when you have the power of God. So how many people are actually acknowledging God? How many people are actually seeking God? How many people are actually allowing God to do his work in their lives, in their business, and in their relationship? That's one question I want to leave with you today. My name is Bruno. I am not a dog.